Hey guys, I've been getting a few requests asking me to do Behemoth in Dark Visions number 16 without using Terra, Yigni, Vivi, or Louise. And it is really hard to damage cap this boss if you're not using any of those units. But I'm going to show a team that will do pretty high damage. It probably won't damage cap, but it'll probably get close. But this is going to be a water team, leaving off all those units that were requested that I skip. So we're going to go in here and do the fight, and then I'll show the team and explain the gear and all that after the fact. This is not a budget run or anything. This is like an alternate run. Alright, so Melia on turn 1 is just going to go ahead and shift, and she's going to cover and eggshell guard for the mitigation. We're going to use Nicole on Carbuncle to reflect someone and bounce Shelga onto the boss to buff up the boss's survivability. We're going to use Aerith to double cast Shelga and Protectica +2 for our own team. Luna Freya will just Rallying Cry. Milo will Bubble Mark to unlock Quadcast. And if I'm going too quickly with this, I will be posting a turn chart in the comments. And then Cacteria is going to use her Magnus attack and Magic Break. And we're going to do Thorny Teamwork. This is for the water resist buff, because we're going to use water next turn, and the boss counterattacks the same element you use, and we're not using water resist on our tank. Alright, so the team is evading in the base form, and then Melia is evading in the shift form as well, and she's covering. So we are going to take some damage and lose some points for damage taken, but if you don't have like Terra and Yigni, you really can't do the turn 2 damage cap clear, so you're going to take some damage. So now Melia is going to Overgrown Flora, and then Wooded Refuge to summon the bunnies. Aerith will just cast Curaga, don't really need anything else. And now we're going to chain a bunch of water spells on the boss to get the chain count score. So Nicole will triple cast Warderga. Milo will quad cast Warderga. Cacteria with the Erinys Ring will quad cast Warderga. And then Luna Freya will triple and Purest Waves, which is the same thing. So these are all Chaos Wave Awakened chain families. Go ahead and send this up and chain it up. And because we did Shelga on the boss, he's taking basically no damage. We don't want to push the threshold, which is 80%. So, you know. The boss counters, we're evading, we don't really care. But with the 100-point chain count score is now done. And we're immune to poison from gear, which is why we're not taking any poison. Okay, so we're going to shift Nicole on turn 3. And we're going to use True Enhancing Stance. This is going to fill the LB gauge of the party. We're going to use Luna Freya to Rallying Cry as well. And that'll give Melia her LB even if you've got 0 drops on her. So we're going to use Melia's shifted LB for the mitigation for the party. I should have done this first. It doesn't really matter that much as long as you do it before Cacteria. Aerith is going to dual cast, and in this order, we're going to Dispelga, and then we're going to Wish to Save the Planet for the Rod and Peril. Yeah, I should have done that first in the turn. Kind of made a mistake. Doesn't really matter because we didn't put any debuffs up. Anyway, now we're going to re-break the boss. We're going to shift Cacteria, and we're going to triple. We're going to do Thorn Punch. We're going to do Deadly Draught and Million Needle Assault. That's a 90% attack and magic break. And then Milo is going to shift, and we're going to start focusing him to boost his magic. So we're going to call everything in pain. So in the shift form, these units are not evading. So we're going to start taking some damage. We've got +2 protect from Aerith. We've got general mitigation from Melia and a bunch of stat buffs. So we should take minimalish damage. We've also got beast mitigation from Melia. So as you can see, we're taking some hits. We're going to lose some points for damage taken, which kind of sucks, but it should be fine. Okay, so on turn 4, some counters, we don't really care about that. We're going to use Melia to Eggshell Guard and Evergreen Blessing. Nicole is going to use his LB, which is not ready. He hasn't gotten any luck on drops, which is fine, because with Rallying Cry, that gives him just enough. Yeah, I calculated this exactly. As long as Nicole's LB is maximized, he gets it without any drops. It's fine by using Rallying Cry. So we're going to go ahead and use Nicole's LB here. Aerith will just use a double cast Curaga to just top the team off. We don't really need this. The team is actually pretty healthy, but this just keeps the team alive. Milo will just reload the focus, and as the last action in the turn, make sure you use Cacteria last, because we don't want to hit the boss with elements until we're ready to kill. So in this order, it's very important. We're going to do Mental Breaking Needles to break Spirit. We're going to do Thorny Teamwork to, back in the base form with Melia, or Cacteria. Mental Breaking Needles, Thorny Teamwork for the Fist in Peril, and my little list here. And we're going to do Sacred Oasis. And by imbuing the party last, we won't trigger a water counterattack here. Okay. Some hits. And now we're going to be killing the boss on turn 5. Okay, so Nicole is going to, in the shifted form, triple cast Crashing Tides. The game is glitched and doesn't show it, but this is actually a Bolting Strike frame. Melia is going to use Oak Assault to chain with Nicole. Aerith is going to use her shifted LB, and I'll explain more about that in a second. Milo, shifted LB. Cacteria is going to the shift. We're going to use her shifted LB. And then Lunafreya, shift, and do her shifted LB. A lot of capping. Okay, so we're going to send Aerith first to build the chain and make sure the buffs go out on the party. Then we're going to send everyone else and cap it all with the Bolting Strike chainers. So we're going to send Aerith, then send everyone else. And perfect. And hopefully we got a damage, high damage. I'm not sure how much we got. It'll be close to the cap and not all the way. 9.5. Yeah, it's really hard to damage cap this boss if you're not using those big 4 units that I mentioned, like Vivi, Yigni, Louise, or Terra. You know, skipping all 4 of them makes it very, very hard to damage cap. But here's a breakdown, you know, variance being variance. So we've got 4 billion on Lunafreya. She can hit as hard as like 4.5 or so with variance. That's kind of a low roll for her. Cacteria got a high roll. She usually hits about 1.6 for me. That was a good roll for her. She got 1.9 that time. Milo, that's about his average for this setup. About 2.2, 2.4, 2.5. A little bit lowish actually, but it's fine. So 2.2. Melia, mostly a support chainer. And then Aerith built the chain for us. She's not really, you know, super damage here. And then Nicole did 600 million, which is fine. He was mostly for the Amplify. But yeah, there was a clear. So we did 115 out of 121 potential, and we did 6.5 taken out of 10,000 taken. So, you know, decent score if you don't have those big popular units that I mentioned. So this is my old score, my original score. Anyway, here is the team we use. Like I mentioned, we're doing a water team. As far as substitutes go, like I mentioned, you know, Terra, Yigni, Louise, or Vivi, those are all great. If you bring Vivi, you got to kind of adjust the whole team because of the whole reflect foolishness. But the rest of those units can be like, you know, direct swaps. Like if you've got Terra, drop Milo. If you've got, you know, Yigni or Louise, you can drop like Aerith and all that. But anyway, here's the team that we did use. So the team is all immune to poison. Everyone has poison immunity from gear, espers, or some kind of source. In the base form, most of the team, all of the team in fact, is full evasion in the base form. This just reduces the damage taken score and makes us get a better score overall. So base form, Milo, just full evasion, and that's pretty much it. He does... he unlocks Quadcast on turn 1, and on turn 2 he Quadcast Chaos Wave Awaken so that we can get the chain count score in. And he's immune to poison from Diablos. Shift form, double Rod for the Imperil, and then just LB damage versus Demon and Beast. He is not evading. He took a lot of damage in the shift form. Whatever. Here is his gear and setup. And I know I said I'm not using Louise, but I am using her card. Don't forget, you can get Louise's card from the Vision Card Exchange tokens. So I feel like it's kind of okay to use Louise's card and all that, even though we're not using Louise herself. Anyway, there is Milo. He did about 2.2. He's got 145 Beast, 295 Demon, and maxed LB damage, double rod. Cacteria, base form, she's using the Erinys ring and a source of Wardica so that we could quad cast chaining. If you don't have the Arc Arcana, you could give her like the Flame Whip and chain Fyrega instead. Just make sure your tank is 100% fire resist if you do decide to do that. Anyway, full evasion in the base form, immune to poison from an item, and then full evasion, whatever. Shift form, she's built for LB damage. She did her own Fist in Peril. She's got a rod, LB damage against Beast and Demon. There we go. And she's not evading the shift form, so she's got 255 LB damage, 275 Beast, and 225 Demon. She did, I think, 2 billion, I forget. Oracle Maiden Lunafreya, base form, full evasion. Lion Emblem, this allows us to get the LB on the units a little bit easier. If you don't have this, you can just rely on luck with the crystal drops. But as you saw, Nicole was got no drops at all that time. But we had exactly enough from regeneration and Lion Emblem and all that, and Nicole's stance. Anyway, we gave her a copy of Behemoth Synergy. You do need to refill a little bit of Esper Gauge for Nicole's chaining on turn 5. So 1 copy of Behemoth Synergy is all you need, or 2 of Summer Focus staves spread between the team, something like that. Anyway, full evasion. Shift form, she only shifted on the kill turn. Just classic Lunafreya. She did the majority of the damage here. All evocation, double chronicle, etc. Maxed Evo, 270 Esper, 275 LB, 6500 magic. And we sent her before sending Milo. That way Milo gets the field effect from Lunafreya. Lunafreya's field is a magical field, so the rest of the party can't even benefit. Cacteria and Cacteria uses physical killers, so the field doesn't work on her. Nicole uses evocation, doesn't work on him. Melia uses physical killers, so the field don't work on her. Aerith was using fire, and then so Milo was the only one that Lunafreya's field worked. Just make sure Lunafreya goes before Milo. Melia, base form, Behemoth suit. Actually, I think that's kind of redundant because she does beast mitigation anyway. But yeah, shift form, as much spirit as you possibly can fit. So all in for spirit. And make sure she actually, you don't even need resistance because we only did water damage, and we did a 150 water resist buff from Cacteria, so we don't even need resistance on the tank. She's status immune from Yoshikiri's card, and she also is passive provoking because the boss counters LBs with a single target confusion, but it can be provoked. So she was provoking the confusion with status immunity. Full evasion as well in the shift form. So full evasion, and she chained on the kill turn 100 natural beast killer, and that's pretty much it. And then Lord of the Seas Nicole, status immune from the Assassin's Vest, or poison immune I should say. Full evasion. We gave him dual cast, and he's on Carbuncle for reflect. That way we can bounce Shelga +2 onto the boss on turn 1, and we dispelled it later with Aerith. And then shift form is built for evocation damage. He actually did 600 million, so it helped. Double rod for the Imperil, all evocation damage otherwise, so duty to the world, chain cap increase, etc. He had Esper damage, 230 Esper damage, 140 Evo damage, and that's yep, there we go. That was his setup. And then Aerith in the base form, full evasion. We gave her a source of Fire Amplify to boost her own down, because she doesn't use her own Fire Amplify. We gave her this just to give her a source of Curega so we could heal the party. Probably wasn't even needed. If you don't have that, no big deal. And then other than that, full evasion, dual cast, and then shift form, built for LB damage. So Rod, LB damage versus Beast and Demons. She's got 5,700 magic, 250 Demon, and 125 Beast. And that was the team. So there is an alternate idea to do Behemoth. Obviously, it's not as good as the team using Yigni and Terra and Louise, but if you don't have them, here's an alternative. See you next time.